Well, Don Airy here with another real Maine story for you. This one comes from the New England Cable Network News, NECN. I think that's what that stands for. And it harkens back to the days when I was a young lad, a teenager. You know, teenagers are, well, let me tell you what I think about teenagers. What do you call a group of lions? Well, a group of lions is called pride. What do you call a group of geese? A group of geese is called gaggle. What do you call a group of larks? This was an interesting one. A group of larks is called an exaltation. Isn't that poetic? An exaltation of larks. And then you have a herd of buffalo. And, what do you get when you call a group of teenagers together? I made up my own word for that. It's called a mess. You got a mess of teenagers. I think that's the official name for a group of teenagers. Well, when I was a teenager, I kind of talking to my dad, and says, Dad, how am I going to ever learn to stop doing dumb things? I was a smart kid, it's good. That's a smart question, to ask of your father. And he says, well, son, you're going to have to learn the ways of wisdom. You're going to have to learn how to be a wise man. I was considered my mother and my father to be wise people. And I said, well, how am I supposed to learn to be wise? He said, well, son, that comes through experience. And he pointed me toward Proverbs. Proverbs is part of the wisdom literature of the Bible. Proverbs and Psalms and Ecclesiastes and those books of the Bible. And I read them through thoroughly. He says, but true wisdom comes through experience. He said, well, I said, how am I supposed to get experience? He says, by doing dumb things. He laughed. He said, he said, what my mother and me, my mother and I, says, our job is to get you to survive and live through and learn from some of the dumb things you do. And that's a parent's job, is to get your kids to survive and to live through some of the dumb things they do. And maybe they'll learn something, maybe they'll get the experience, and maybe they'll be wise. In this story that I got from NECN was about a 16-year-old girl. She got into a car accident, and I'll show you the pictures in a few minutes. What happened was, according to the police report, is she was carrying a puppy, and the puppy jumped into her lap, and she got distracted, and she got into as I was saying in the video prior to this one, is that she got her car all stove up. Car got flipped over on its side in a mess of trees, and I'd say that her Toyota Corolla ain't worth nothing now. She totaled it. And I have a few comments about it. So I'm going to show you the first picture right here. And as you look over this first picture, I want you to take note of a couple things. I would say number one is that she was probably exceeding what I would guess to be the speed limit on that section of road, which is probably 35 to 40 miles an hour. I would guess that she was exceeding the speed limit by at least 50%. She was going at least 50 to 55 miles an hour to cause that amount of damage to her car. If you look carefully at this picture, her front bumper is in the foreground, laying in the foreground, about 40 or 50 feet away from the accident. It got flung. She hit the tree sideways there, and the front bumper's lying toward the foreground of the car. And she's laying on the side, and the neighbors came along and helped her get out of the car because she was trapped. She couldn't get out by herself. And so that's that picture. Now, so that's lesson number one of doing dumb things. She was 16 years old, and she probably just got her license, and she's traveling too fast. I was arguing with my daughter one day about, one day I was traveling up 495, and it seemed like every time that I got someone speeding by me so fast that wham, it'd almost shake my car as I go by, I looked, and it always seemed like to be a young woman driving, and I said that it seemed like they're aggressive. And my daughter said something surprising to me. She says, "Well, when I'm driving," she says, "Dad, I may be speeding," and she's but I'm not really being aggressive. She says, "Dad, I'm just driving. I'm just driving along." Saying to me, she's just driving. She ain't thinking about what she's doing. And that's probably what this girl was doing. She wasn't thinking about how fast she was going. Stupid thing number one. Okay, now here's the next picture. It's a little close up, and what's kind of cute. If you look at the bumper of the car, you'll see a little dog bone sticker on the back of that car. It's a little, a sticker of the car. She just got her puppy, and she loved her puppy. I don't know what kind of puppy it was, but she obviously loved her puppy. But mistake number 2 was she's driving in a car, in a Toyota Corolla, and the puppy is not restrained. Now, there's things that you can buy easily. They attach to the collar, and it's a little short leash. It's about this long, and they attach down to the seat belt and to the rigging down into we bought them for our dog, because otherwise the dog's going to be jumping back and forth, the back seat, the front seat, and they're going to be dashing all over the place because they're puppies. They have no sense of self-restraint, and so that was mistake number 2. That's dumb thing number 2. She's driving in a car with a puppy. She's 16 years old, just got a license, probably speeding. And to tell you the honest truth, I don't think it was just the puppy that was distracting her. She's probably driving with her knee, and she's probably taking a snapshot of the puppy to show her friends, And I don't think she told the police that. So that was probably mistake number 3. But she did survive, and she wasn't taken to the hospital, neither with the puppy. The puppy and the girl. But I think maybe she learned a lesson, because I don't think that she got her car back, or she got another car right away. The car was I'm sure the car was totaled. There's no way they're going to straighten that out, And the puppy grew up. I don't think the puppy had any lessons to learn from it, because puppies are dumber than human beings. But this girl probably got the life scared right out of her. And so she learned her lesson, and maybe she's a little wiser. And maybe she'll drive a little slower. And the next time she drives with her puppy in the car, it'll be properly restrained, so that it won't be jumping all over the place and jumping in her lap and scaring the heck out of her. And she's overreacting, and it was a single car accident, and she's lucky she weren't killed. And she's lucky she weren't hurting anybody else. So God bless her. May God watch over her for the rest of her life. And God bless you. And I hope you learned something from this as well.